What's up, everybody? Todd here with Citizen Defense. Welcome back to the channel. So this week I wanted to talk about the draw, specifically efficiency versus raw speed. I put out a short talking about this, and so this is why I'm kind of getting to a full video on it. Now, whenever people are just getting started working from concealment, or they've been shooting for a while and they're trying to develop their skill to a higher level, cut those times down, you might think that to get faster times, you just need to go faster. But that's pretty much not the case, or not always the case. Efficiency of movement, in my opinion, tends to lend itself better to speed. Now, when we go for raw speed, there are some things that are going to happen that are going to influence deficiencies into our shooting. Number one is going to be tension, right? When we try to go super fast, we tend to tense up. We're going to get tense in our shoulders, our arms. Even when we go out to presentation, we're probably going to be tensing up our grip, which is going to lead to some other issues as well. When we're looking at the draw, we need to think about our overall goal, right? I want to get the gun out quickly. I want the sights to present and park themselves on a small spot on the target. So as soon as I see them present and park on the target, I'm pressing the shot. So if I can do all those things simultaneously, or somewhat simultaneously, really quickly in unison, I'm going to be able to reduce my times down, have a greater level of accountability and accuracy, and probably be able to start putting consecutive rounds on target quicker. So there are a few things that I look at when I'm developing my draw for efficiency of movement. Number one is going to be clearing garment. Okay, so for me, like this in the t-shirt, and just for the YouTube RSOs out there, this is an empty magazine with a dummy round in the chamber. So it is set up for dry fire, which you will see here soon enough. Is going to be clearing the garment, right? So I'm going to clear the garment. I'm not going super high, trying to get everything out of the way. I know that if I just grab it and roll it up about to my chest, I'm getting enough clearance on the garment that I can get my hand on the gun. And then once the gun is cleared, I'm dropping the garment. I'm not trying to put it back down. The next thing is going to be putting my hand on the gun, depending on where you're at. The one thing that we don't want to do is drive the gun down, right? We don't want to drive our grip down. A lot of people do that, trying to get their thumb behind it or get high on the back strap. You see it definitely on strong side shooters a lot. Now, if you're trying to defeat a higher level retention holster, like a duty holster or something like that, yeah, you're going to have to get down on the gun so you can work those mechanisms to be able to get the gun out. That's a completely different situation. But for most of us in the average earth person space, we're not going to be carrying duty holsters, right? We're going to have Kydex holsters like this with some sort of retention on them. So we don't need to drive the gun down. We just need to get on the gun. So the best way to do that, in my opinion, is to just slap your hand on the gun, right? For example, with me, whenever I clear my garment, all I do is just slap the gun. If I'm up here in this position and I have to grab my shirt, I'm slapping the gun. That's all I'm doing. Once I get that grip on the gun here, my fingers are underneath, my thumb's on the top, I'm in the placement where I'm high on the back strap, everything just rolls over and I'm in place. The next thing is going to be building our grip on the gun sooner than later. So I don't want the gun floating out here in space before I'm building my grip. I want to be able to build it sooner so that I'm presenting on target with everything in place. As soon as I see the sights, I'm pressing the shot. When we start pushing raw speed on our presentation, we're going to have a couple things happen, at least personally for me, that I notice. Right? We tend to do hard stops if we're pushing the gun out fast. And that's going to lead to the sights doing like a little hook or up and down bounce. And when we do that is when you typically see most shooters taking a split second at the end of the presentation to clean up their sights and break the shot. That's generally what's happening. The sights are not parking itself on a small spot on the target. When it comes from movement from here to the presentation, we don't want to draw the gun out and go up and down. We want to go from here to here. If I'm trying to win a race and I need to go from point A to point B, the fastest path to B is go from A to B, straight line. That's all you need to do. Up, straight to the target. Up, straight to the target. We don't need to do any of this wave shit or anything like that. All we're doing is wasting time. And generally, most people that do that, they end up overshooting the target, have to come back up before they can break the shot. So those are some things to consider in developing efficiency in your draw. Now, I'm going to go ahead. I have some dry fire targets here. I'm going to do a couple reps. It's not going to be anything crazy, right? I'm just looking for consistent fluid movement. Sights parking on the target. As soon as I see the sights park on the target, I'm pressing the shot. That's all that I'm doing here, okay? Like I said, this isn't going to look super fast. At least I don't think it does. It doesn't feel super fast to me. But I can tell you the last time I was at the range, I did a comparison of my draw to first shot times from going as fast as I could to efficiency of movement. And I definitely felt slower versus pushing raw speed, but my times were around 0.2 of a second faster from going full speed, right? Because I was having a lot of that cleanup at the end of it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my draw here. And this is something that I do dry fire all the time. So I have a couple here. Just get ready, get loose. Right, as soon as I see the sights on the target, I'm pressing the shot. So I build my grip, I'm prepping the trigger. As soon as I see the sights, I'm pressing the shot. And those sights are parking right on the target. I'm going to do this one more time. That's all we're doing. Nothing crazy. Now, could somebody be more explosive getting the gun out and then slowing down the last 10% or so? Yes, you could. I'll try that. I usually don't do that. I prefer a more fluid feel, but I'll try to do it anyways. So there, I kind of overshot it getting the gun out and ended up doing the up and over, which I don't want to do. See, I still had some sight movement there. So I don't like being super explosive. I can feel the tension building, and I'm not as consistent with it there. So I don't know what this looks like on camera. So y'all will be the judge of telling the difference between the two. So that's more just of efficiency of movement. One more time. Okay. And that's it. That's all you really need to focus on. It's nothing crazy. Just reduce the amount of unneeded movement necessary to get the gun out, get it on target, and break the shot as soon as the sights park on the target. That's all it takes. I guarantee you, if you dry fire this, start working on it, you'll see major gains in your performance of getting the gun out and target in first round hits. So I hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July. If you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel. Go check out the podcast. We had a wonderful discussion with Alex Sanson of the Suited Shootist, or not of the Suited Shootist. He is the Suited Shootist. We had a wonderful discussion with him last week. Go check that out. And until next time, I hope y'all have a wonderful week and stay safe.